Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful concept from the Holy Quran. It's about the serious warning against hiding the truth, but maybe even more importantly, the clear path it lays out for coming back from that. It really gets to the heart of the responsibility that comes with knowing something.
This quote, wow, it just perfectly sets the stage, doesn't it? The core idea is that the real rot in a society doesn't start with everyday people. It starts in the quiet halls where scholars and leaders, the ones who are supposed to know better, decide to bury the truth. That's the betrayal we're going to unpack.
So what is it that's being hidden? Well, the text we're looking at is all about this idea of huda, which means divine guidance. You can think of it like a moral compass, a gift from God, designed to give us clarity in a world that's, well, pretty confusing. So when that compass gets hidden, people are just left to wander in the dark. Okay, so first up, let's look at the warning itself. This is the Quran's direct proclamation against hiding the truth. The language here is unbelievably strong. I mean, this isn't a gentle suggestion. It's a full-on proclamation that says if you knowingly hide these clear signs after they've been made clear, you invite a curse, not just from God, but from all of creation. And the analysis really stresses this isn't about someone who just doesn't know. This is about the deliberate act of suppressing the truth. And here's what's so fascinating. Look at how broadly this applies. You might think, oh, this is for some ancient scribe. But no, it's a timeless warning for anyone with a platform. Scholars twisting religion to be popular, preachers who are more afraid of what people think than what God thinks, governments censoring information, even media outlets spreading lies. It's for anyone who puts worldly gain ahead of the truth. And the way this curse is explained is just profound. It's not presented as some magical zap from the heavens. It's more like a natural law, a kind of spiritual cause and effect. It's like when you actively work against the truth, your own influence starts to crumble. Your work decays. It's as if you're working against the very grain of the universe, and eventually it just rejects you. But, and this is a huge but, right after that thunderous warning, the Quran swings open a door. It shifts from the problem to the solution, showing us a path to redemption, a ray of divine mercy. And here it is. This is that ray of hope. It doesn't matter how bad the sin of concealment was, there's a way back. The verse gives a crystal clear exception for people who take specific corrective steps. And this theme of God's incredible mercy, it's just as important to the message as the warning was. Now, here's the key. This isn't a passive, I'm sorry. It's an active three-step blueprint. First is tauba. That's a genuine, deep-down revolution in your heart. You turn back to God. Second, islah. This means you have to go out and actively fix the damage your lies caused. And third, ilan. And this one takes guts. You have to publicly declare the very truth you used to hide with the same passion. It's a complete top-to-bottom transformation. Okay, so we have these big, universal principles of warning and redemption. Now, the text we're analyzing does something really interesting. It applies these ideas to a specific moment in history, using the experience of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community as a case study to see how these spiritual laws play out in the real world. So here's the core argument the source makes. It says that when God sends a reformer to revitalize a faith and the people in charge reject him and hide his teachings, well, that's not just a simple disagreement. According to this principle, that single act triggers a whole chain reaction of spiritual and social consequences for the very people doing the hiding. And what does that fallout look like? Well, according to this analysis, it leads directly to a community's spiritual health tanking. Their intellectual progress just flatlines, and social unity, it completely breaks down. These aren't seen as random misfortunes, they're presented as the direct, predictable result of breaking that divine law. But then, we get to this incredible paradox. The very act of oppression, the thing that's designed to stamp out the message, actually becomes a sign that the message is true. The argument is that God himself becomes the defender of the oppressed group, and all that opposition, it accidentally becomes the fuel for the message's growth. And to illustrate this, the source offers up this pretty staggering statistic. It points to the growth of the Ahmadiyya community, from just one little village to now being in over 200 nations, all without an army or any political power, and presents this as real-world proof of that divine paradox in action. Their expansion is framed as a direct result of God's help in the face of all that opposition. This all leads to a final, really stark comparison, a kind of summary of destinies. On one side, for those who hide the truth, the result is described as losing divine favor and watching their own society decay. But on the other side, for the community that stands for the truth, the outcome is divine protection and spiritual growth. It's laid out as the ultimate fulfillment of that Quranic principle we started with.
Okay, so we've gone deep into this one case study, but now the analysis pulls the camera all the way back out to the timeless, universal choice that every single one of us has to face, the choice to speak the truth. You see, the ultimate takeaway here isn't just about history. This whole discussion is framed as a living, breathing call to take up moral leadership. Because in a world drowning in confusion and misinformation, having the courage to stand up and speak the truth, that becomes an act of mercy for everyone.
And so we end with the final powerful question that this analysis leaves us with. It's a question for me, for you, for all of us to think about. It really boils down to a choice between two legacies. Will we be among those who hide the truth out of fear or for comfort? Or will we be among those who find the courage to repent, to fix what's broken, and to declare the truth for all to hear? It's a question worth reflecting on long after this is over.